Race number 2 on the program is a benchmark 80 over 2,000 metres, and the horse that I'm keen to be with, my yay horse, is Aesop. Now, it had excuses last start. It was disappointing, but I think it was the wet track that brought this horse undone. Now it gets back onto a firm surface, and I think it can improve sharply going into this performance at Flemington. The big track also has to be a positive. He was a good winner at Sandown 2 starts ago, and it gets a similar style circuit now on the weekend. Kissinger, I thought, is the horse that has come up a little under the odds, and for that, I'm against it. It is my nay. Coming back in distance, I thought was an issue. It does have a nice weight here, considering it's rising in class, and it does find a suitable jockey booking with Damien Oliver riding in its past couple of victories. For all the form factors, head to the racing.com website or the PointsBet app. Race number 4 is the Queen's Cup, formerly known as the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, and we might see a horse here who could be coming back for a Melbourne Cup in 12 months' time. That is Soulcombe. Making his Australian debut for Chris Waller, he's recently joined the team and has been in quarantine at Werribee over the past couple of weeks. He's making his local debut, but he does look to have a lot of class. He gets in with a lightweight, and if you have a look at his replay from his recent win at York, he looks to be a very progressive stayer. Luna Flair is the horse that I'm keen to be against here. She missed out on a run in the Melbourne Cup as a result of a vet issue, and even though she's had a couple of days to get over that, I still think she's a little under the odds here. She is racing well, and she does like Flemington, but I just think up against some up-and-coming horses, and considering that setback, she might just be a little vulnerable on Saturday. For all the form factors, head to the racing.com website or the PointsBet app. Race number 5 is the Matriarch Stakes for the mares over 2,000 metres, and I'm backing one here at double figures in Glory Bound. She's had 2 runs this preparation for Peter Moody. Both have been very promising, and now she gets fitter and up in distance to the 2,000 metres. She's beaten a number of her key rivals in recent starts, including Dynasties and also Foxy Frida, and for some reason, she's a bigger price than them. I'm keen to be with her. I think she'll run extremely well. Dynasties is a horse that I just mentioned, and I'm against it. It is my nay in this galloper. It is way too short in the market, considering it's on the quick backup and race during the week, but she hasn't been that flash in a couple of runs this preparation. She does go from a wet track to getting as firm a surface on the weekend, but I feel she is a little under the odds. For all the form factors, make sure you head to the racing.com website or the PointsBet app. Race number 7 is one of the big ones. It's the Group 1 Champions Mile, and what an exciting horse we get to see here in Private Eye. He was outstanding winning in Sydney last week, much like his performance in the Everest where he's narrowly beaten behind Giga Kick, and who can forget his emphatic victory first up. The horse is absolutely flying, and one of the biggest things about this galloper is his ability to reel off some impressive closing splits. He comes up in trip from the 13 to the mile. I think that's a positive, and being on the back up after racing only 7 days ago, he's not going to lack any fitness. Cascadian is the horse I'm keen to be against. He's my nay here because he's coming back in distance. I think he might be vulnerable against some of these sharp milers. His last couple of victories have been good, albeit in easier grade over 1,800 and 2,000. He is in career best form, and he does have James McDonald in the saddle, but I prefer Private Eye, and I'll also be having something on my Oberon. For all the form factors, make sure you head to the racing.com website or the PointsBet app.
Race 3, it's a benchmark 78 for the stayers over 2,400 metres. The market has it as a race in 2. I tend to agree, but which king will reign supreme? Pale King, last start winner. The key to that win was the dry track, which he gets again here. He's on the quick 7-day backup. I love horses ready to peak fourth up out in trip. The other king, King Frankel, another last start winner and was well backed into odds-on favouritism, has won 2 of 3 this preparation, is versatile in running and certainly looks progressive enough to get the job done. The horses at peak fitness, I think either one of them wins. If it's not Pale King, it's King Frankel. For all the form factors for Rosehill on Saturday, head over to the racing.com website or the PointsBet app. Race 4, it's a benchmark 78 over 1,800 metres. There's a horse that's featured in this segment before that I'm keen to stick with as my yay horse. It's NAVAL Seal. Thought he ran really well first up. He did look in need of the run though. He strips fitter, up in distance, looks ideal, and importantly, he's beaten key rivals in this race last start with improvement still to come. He ticks plenty of boxes. I'm not surprised he's at the top end of the market. My nay horse, Willinga Rufio, actually went around as favourite in the NAVAL Seal race, led throughout, is likely to do so again here. Certainly had his chance, and I think he'll be vulnerable at the back end of the race. So for that reason, he's a nay for me. For all the form factors for Rosehill on Saturday, head over to the racing.com website or the PointsBet app. Race 5, it's a benchmark 78 over 1,200 metres. My yay horse come up at a bit of a price. Bend the Knee. He's been gelded between preparations. Loved his recent trial. Was given a really solid hit out. To me, that says he's forward enough to fire first up. What else I like about him? Well, he's got a bit of class. He's basically been contesting stakes races since he knocked off his maiden, and the form through those reads pretty well back to benchmark company. The Neigh horse, Devil's Throat, is racing well, probably maps for the run of the race, but I think that this race has a little bit more depth to it than the benchmark 78 he contested last start. So for that reason, I thought he might be a touch under the odds. For all the form factors for Rosehill on Saturday, head over to the racing.com website or the PointsBet app. Race 7, it's the Group 2 Hot Danish Stakes for the fillies and mares over 1,400 metres. There's two that I like here, but from a pricing perspective, Lavish Girl is the yay horse. Key for her is she comes from a wet track onto the dry. She is so much better back on top of the ground. She's fitter third up, and she's back to racing against her own sex. She'll find the front or near enough to from a low draw. I think she'll be in it for a long way. We do have to have a saver on Electric Girl. Arguably should have won the invitation last start had she have had clear running room earlier on. She's ready to peak here, and she's had early market support from the punters, and I tend to agree. Lavish Girl's the play at the price, but I couldn't have let Electric Girl go around with nothing on. For all the form factors, head over to the racing.com website or the PointsBet app.